You want something real, something you can do tonight that shifts the way women feel you without needing better clothes, a higher bank balance, or a pre-packaged line. Here it is. The one behavior women can't resist is grounded leadership. Calm, steady direction delivered with warm, attuned attention. Not pushy, not needy, not performative, grounded. You occupy space like it belongs to you. You move with intent, you decide, you invite, and then you hold the moment without flinching. Most men try to sell themselves. You don't sell, you lead. You create a pocket of gravity around you that says, "This is where we're going," while your eyes say, "I see you." When a woman feels that, your calm, your direction, your attunement, her nervous system relaxes, her curiosity sparks, and her attraction rises because you've stepped into a role most men avoid, the man who carries his own weather. Let's cut through illusions. Attraction isn't a debate about worthiness. It's a nervous system reading. She is scanning. Are you safe? Are you strong? Are you present? Do you bring direction or drain? Grounded leadership answers all four without forced swagger. It's the way you stand. Feet planted, shoulders open, chin level. It's the way you breathe, low and slow. It's the way you look at her. Not hunting, not darting, just steady enough to be felt. It's the way your words come out when you choose, not when you're dragged. The moment you adopt this, you step out of the boy's role of asking permission to exist and into the man's role of shaping the moment. If what you've heard so far is shifting how you see yourself, stay with me until the end because we're just getting started. Start tonight with your body, because your body speaks before your mouth opens. When you enter a room, pause on the threshold for one breath. Feel your feet. Notice the weight. Let your shoulders hang. The pause is subtle, but it communicates something primal. I'm not rushed. I belong here. When you approach, don't angle your head like you're asking to be accepted. Keep it level. A small, real smile, one corner of your mouth, then silence for half a second. That silence is the seed of your leadership. It says you won't chase. Then your voice, lower than habitual, slower than you think, fewer words than you want to use. Hey. Not a question, a greeting. If she answers, hold eye contact for one heartbeat longer than you usually would, then shift your gaze to her mouth for a beat, then back to her eyes. That triangle signals interest without neediness. You're not fishing for approval, you're witnessing. Your breath stays consistent. If your breath is steady, your presence is steady. If your presence is steady, she relaxes and leans in. Next, agenda. Men without an agenda are exhausting. Women feel it instantly. You don't need a grand plan, just a direction. I'm grabbing a green tea, walk with me. That's it. It's simple, but it's a decisive invitation. You're not asking if you may hoard her time. You're offering a path and letting her choose. If she declines, you nod, smile, and remain relaxed. No emotional spike, no apology tour. The leadership remains because it wasn't contingent on her answer. That alone separates you from nearly everyone she meets. Your frame doesn't wobble. Leadership without attunement is arrogance. Attunement is how you turn direction into desire. It's the way you notice details. Her ring, the slight tension in her shoulders, the way she inhales before she answers. When she speaks, your eyes soften. You tilt one ear a few degrees closer and you listen for subtext. You comment on what you actually perceive, not a canned script. You light up when you talk about your work. Most people complain. Simple, observational, respectful. Then you add a challenge that keeps the energy alive. But I bet the part you haven't mastered yet is letting yourself slow down, right? Delivered with a smirk and a pause, this is not a dig. It's a mirror. She'll feel seen. The push-pull of leadership and attunement creates the spark. You're directing the moment while making her feel understood. Understand tests. Attraction includes tests because attraction is trust looking for proof. When she teases you, delays, or tosses a barrier, she isn't trying to hurt you. She's checking if your frame is sturdy. Answer with play, not defense. If she says, "Oh, you're confident," you grin, "I am." It's efficient. If she makes you wait without fidgeting. If she shares a boundary, you respect it without dramatics. Perfect. Let's do it your way. Paradoxically, that respect keeps the door open by signaling safety. Leading means you can handle the edges without collapsing or pushing. Women feel that in their bones. Let's give you a field model to apply tonight. Ground, direct, attune, invite, hold. First, ground. Before you speak, drop your breath into your belly. Feel your feet. Roll your shoulders back, down. This resets your nervous system and lowers your energy from frantic to steady. Second, direct. Offer a clear next step. Join me for 2 minutes while I check out the view over there. Third, attune. As you walk, observe without chattering. Ask one question that reveals values. What do you do that actually excites you? Not, what do you do? But what excites you? Fourth, invite. After a beat. I'd like to hear that story from the beginning. Sit with me. Finally, hold. When she answers, don't interrupt. When the moment gets quiet, don't fill it. When she looks away, let her find her way back. Holding is where your masculine presence becomes unmistakable. Most men leak nervous energy into the silence. You let the silence work for you. It's not a gap, it's a canvas. Now let's dive deeper because the behavior becomes irresistible when you refine micro skills. Eye contact first. Think of your gaze like a hand on the small of her back. Steady, light, guiding, never clutching. Stare and you threaten. Fidget and you disappear. Aim for sustained, soft focus with micro breaks. Eyes to mouth, eyes to environment, back to eyes. This rhythm is hypnotic when paired with slow breathing. Next, voice. Record yourself if you have to. Cut filler words. Replace qualifiers with statements. Instead of, maybe we could, say let's. Instead of, is that okay, say, how does that feel? This shift is everything. You're not begging. You're inviting feedback from a place of direction. Then posture. Avoid the lean-in trap. You can lean in to hear a secret, then lean back to reestablish your groundedness. This push-pull signals that you're not magnetized by anxiety. You're choosing your distance deliberately. Touch is leadership's most delicate test. The principle is simple. Signal, then seek. Signal with your body first. Stand at a comfortable angle, not square on like a challenger. Then light, socially acceptable touch with a clear reason. Guiding her by the elbow across a crowded path, a brief palm-to-palm high five that lingers a fraction longer, a playful shoulder tap when you tease. After that, pause. You're reading. If she leans in, maintains closeness, or reinitiates, you escalate gradually. If she stiffens or steps back, you give her space without commentary. Attuned leaders calibrate. They never assume. Consent, verbal or nonverbal, is the fuel that makes your direction welcome, and welcome energy is the only kind that compounds. Let's talk about tension, because attraction is tension properly managed. Think of tension as a violin string. You want it taut enough to sing, not so tight it snaps. You create tension through contrasts, directness and play, certainty and curiosity, calm and heat. Example, you're trouble. I can tell, but I'm curious. Smile. Pause. 2 minutes. Convince me you're not. You set a frame, she's compelling. You're careful with your time. Then you invite her to play inside it. Another example. When she asks you a personal question, answer briefly and turn it. I grew up moving a lot. It taught me how to read people fast. Beat. You're harder to read. I like that. You reveal and you challenge. The melody is simple. Reveal something true, then invite her to step closer. The mind of a grounded leader is your secret engine. You own your internal state. Before you approach, check your thoughts. If you're thinking, I hope she likes me, your body will fawn. Replace it with, I like who I am. I'm curious about her. This reframe changes your micro-expressions. Curiosity softens the face, stabilizes the breath, and breeds creativity. Next, commit to outcome independence, not as a platitude, as a practice. Outcome independence doesn't mean apathy. It means you value your standards more than any single interaction. Your worth isn't up for debate. When that becomes non-negotiable, your body stops broadcasting need. Standards are crucial. Leadership without standards becomes clinging. Decide your standards now. For example, I engage with women who are kind to service staff. I don't chase if she flakes twice. I end interactions gracefully when energy turns combative. Put these in your bones. When you hold standards calmly, women sense the quiet filter around you. That filter is power. It communicates scarcity, not the fake kind where you pretend to be busy, but the real kind where your attention is valuable, and you manage it like a man who respects himself. Conversation is where you demonstrate finesse. Avoid interviews. Use threads. Take one detail and pull it into a deeper layer. If she mentions she runs at dawn, you might say, "Discipline is attractive. What does running give you that nothing else does?" That question points at identity, not logistics. When she answers, reflect the essence. So you like the solitude before the world wakes up. You're protective of that quiet. Now she feels known. From there, challenge lightly. "I'd ruin your routine, but I make great coffee." Smile. We'll negotiate. Leadership proposes, attunement negotiates. You're shaping a dance where you both add steps. When resistance appears, and it will, don't bulldoze. A leader doesn't argue feelings, he accepts them and redirects. If she says, "I don't give my number out," don't push. Smile. "Fair, then we'll do this differently." Offer a brief, low-stakes alternative. "Join me for 2 minutes now. If we still want to talk later, we'll figure it out." Or hand her your phone, open to a blank text. Type your name. "If it doesn't feel right later, you can ghost me. I'll survive." Humor plus permission lowers defense while keeping direction alive. If she refuses, it's still a win, because your frame remained elegant. You exit with grace. Good meeting you. Steady eye contact, micro smile, and you pivot away without looking back. That exit, clean and unhurried, is a signature of real leadership. Let's turn to logistics, because desire without logistics is fantasy. You need default plans in your pocket. A quiet tea spot, a late-night dessert place, a scenic walk, a bookstore corner, a gallery on Thursdays. Leaders remove friction. If you say, "Let's get a tea," and you don't know where, you've already dropped the frame. Do the work once so you can be spontaneous later. Also, manage time boundaries. Short first encounters often work best. 20 minutes, not 2 hours. Say it. "I've got 20 minutes. Come." This creates urgency and lowers pressure. Paradox. Constraints create freedom. She can relax because there's a clear container. If it's right, you extend. If not, you exit on a high note. Your digital presence should echo your in-person leadership. Keep texts clean and decisive. Send the first message with a callback to your earlier moment. "You still owe me the sunrise story." Tuesday, 7:30. 15 minutes, then we run. Specific. Light. Time-bound. If she replies with enthusiasm, match it and lock logistics. If she's vague, bring it once more with clarity, then let it go. Do not spiral into paragraphs convincing her. The man who respects his time amplifies his allure. And remember, slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. You don't need 5 exchanges a day. You need one decisive invitation, then space. Let's sharpen your internal signal with a nightly practice so your leadership is automatic tomorrow. Before bed, review 3 micro moments where you led. Choosing your own meal decisively, saying no to a plan that didn't serve you, initiating a conversation with the barista instead of waiting to be prompted. Leadership is a muscle built in small reps. Then, visualize entering a room. See yourself pause at the threshold, feel your breath settle, scan the environment, select your path, and move. Repeat this until your body knows it. In the morning, carry that visualization into the first human interaction of your day. Don't wait until night to practice seduction. You're calibrating all day long. Some of you will ask, "What if I'm introverted?" Perfect. Grounded leadership isn't loud, it's deep. Your advantage is your quiet intensity. Use it. Speak less, notice more. When you do speak, let each sentence land. Introverts excel at the hold in ground-direct attune invite hold. Your silence isn't absence, it's gravity. And if you're more extroverted, your edge is warmth. Channel it through direction so you don't scatter. Decide, guide, and leave space. Remember, leadership isn't volume, it's vector. We need to address fear, the fear of rejection, of awkwardness, of being too much. Fear is just energy with a story. Strip the story and use the energy. Before you approach, name the sensation without drama. Heat in chest, tightness in throat. Breathe into it. Expand your rib cage on the inhale. Slow your exhale. As you walk toward her, keep your exhale smooth. This tells your body you're safe. Fear doesn't vanish, it becomes fuel. When she sees you calm in your own heat, she feels safer in hers. That's leadership, self-regulation that invites co-regulation. Now you're two adults navigating attraction, not two teenagers performing roles. Let's talk about challenge, the seasoning of seduction. A good challenge lifts the energy. Bad challenge crushes it. The difference? Respect. A respectful challenge might sound like, you pretend to be skeptical, but your eyes say you're curious. Delivered with warmth, this hints at desire while honoring her autonomy. Another, I like that you're particular. Me too. Let's see if we match. You're not trying to win, you're offering a standard to meet, yours and hers. Challenges should be delivered slowly, with a sliver of a smile, then silence. Let her respond. Holding space after a challenge is advanced. Don't rush to soften it. Let the tension do its work. Frame control is the spine of leadership. Frames are unstated rules about what this interaction means. If you don't set them, someone else will. Set an elevated frame early. I prefer real conversation. Keep the small talk. Tell me something you actually care about. You've now defined the lane. If she brings drama, you don't feed it. You edit it. Let's not do that. Tell me what you want instead. You're not correcting her like a parent. You're curating the vibe like a host. Hosts choose the music, the lighting, the flow. You are the host of your moments. Become that, and women feel they're stepping into a world, your world, when they're with you. Some of you conflate leadership with intensity all the time. No. True leadership can be playful, even goofy when chosen. The key word is chosen. You can crack a joke and then pivot back to center in a breath. Try this. Tease lightly, then ground. Your trouble, smirk. Then slow your inhale, plant your feet and say softly, and I like that. The drop from play to intimacy is where desire lives. Use your pacing like a conductor. Speed up to spark, slow down to deepen. If this is hitting something inside you, drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. Let's dissect a full interaction so you can hear the cadence. You see her at the market, scanning peaches. You pause at the aisle entrance, breathe, then walk in with a loose stride. Those aren't ready, you say, picking one up, pressing the stem. Feel here. You want a little give. You hand it to her, fingertips grazing, then step back half a foot. She smiles, surprised. You tilt your head, hold eye contact, and say, "You're decisive. I appreciate that." Then, direction. "Walk with me. I'm grabbing fresh mint." You turn slowly, not waiting for permission, and she follows because the path is easy. At the herbs, you ask, "What do you cook when someone special is over?" Higher stakes, playful implication. She answers. You mirror her smile, then challenge, "That's bold. I'll trade you pasta for my mint tea." Invite, "Join me for 2 minutes while I pick the good leaves." She stays. You share a brief story, then hold silence while smelling the mint. She leans in to smell with you. You don't rush. "Put your number in," you say, phone open. "We'll do a taste test Tuesday. If your pasta wins, I'll thank you properly." You grin, steady. If she hesitates, you relax. No pressure. "I'm still drinking tea." She either says yes and you confirm logistics concisely, or she says no, and you exit with warmth. Either way, your leadership was felt. You will make mistakes. You will talk too fast, overshare, or push when you should pause. Good. That's how you refine. After every interaction, run a 2-minute review. Ask, where did I lead? Where did I attune? Where did I hold? What's one sentence I could have said fewer words? This micro-review builds rapid calibration. Don't bury yourself in theory. This is a craft. Crafts reward reps. Do the reps. Let's touch status, because status is often whispered about and rarely understood. It's not money flashing or dominance displays. Real status is self-possession plus contribution. The man with status brings value wherever he goes. Humor, calm, direction, taste, solutions. He's the guy people look to when plans wobble. Practice being that guy in small ways. When friends stall on choosing a table, you choose. When a problem appears, you name it and offer 2 choices. When someone speaks, you make them feel heard. Then, when you bring that same energy to women, it doesn't feel put on, it's who you are. Authentic status radiates. Women tune to it like a frequency. Dress how you want, but understand presentation is part of leadership. Wear clothes that fit your frame. Choose textures that invite touch. Soft knits, clean lines, subtle contrast. Simple jewelry, maybe one piece with meaning. Clean shoes, a scent that whispers, not shouts. Presentation is the envelope. Your presence is the letter. Keep the envelope clean and the letter unforgettable. A final, understated skill. Endings. Most men end poorly. Either they drag or they vanish. You end deliberately. If you've set a time container, honor it. I'm heading out. Steady eye contact. I like this. If the connection is alive, you make a clean ask. Tuesday, 7:30, 15 minutes. If it's not, you still end with grace. Good meeting you. Keep that spark. Then you leave at your pace, not yanked by anxiety or need. Endings create memory. Leaders craft good memories. You might be wondering, what if she's powerful, accomplished, used to being in charge? Even better. Powerful women are tired of carrying everything. They don't want a subordinate. They want a partner who can hold their fire without shrinking. Your leadership respects her power and offers direction so she can relax. You don't compete with her, you compliment her. You say, "You make big decisions all day. Tonight, let me drive." Not a metaphor, a promise. Then you keep it. Clear plan, smooth execution, sensitive calibration. She'll feel the relief. Relief becomes desire. If you know a brother who needs to hear this, send it to him today. Don't keep it to yourself. The world has enough men fidgeting at the edges of their own lives. We need men who occupy space kindly and decisively, who bring direction and warmth into every room they enter. As we close, remember the behavior. Grounded leadership. Not the brittle posture of a man pretending to be unshakable, but the relaxed composure of a man who is. You breathe slow. You choose your path. You invite, not plead. You listen, not perform. You challenge, not belittle. You end clean. Do this tonight. When you walk into the coffee shop, pause and feel your feet. When you meet her eyes, let your gaze settle and your shoulders soften. When you speak, choose. Join me. When she speaks, hold the space. When the silence stretches, let it. Your calm is the container. Your direction is the compass. Your attunement is the magnet. Put those together, and you become the man women remember, the one they replay in their minds when the world goes noisy again. This isn't a trick, it's a standard. You lead because that's who you've decided to be. You make the room better by entering it. You keep your word. You make choices. You open doors, literal and metaphorical. And you're strong enough to accept no as easily as yes. That paradox, firm and flexible, directional and receptive, is the flavor that pulls her in without effort. If this is hitting something inside you, drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. And if you want more of this, more cues, more field-tested language, more upgrades to your presence, subscribe and stay close. We're only at the beginning of what you can become. Tonight, practice the small things, the breath, the pause at the door, the decisive invitation, the silence after a challenge, then watch the shift. You won't need to raise your voice or collect approvals. You'll feel the change in her shoulders, the way she mirrors your rhythm, the way her eyes warm. That's the signal. You led, you attuned, you invited, you held. Do it again tomorrow and the next day. Build your gravity, one moment at a time. That is the one behavior women can't resist. Not a trick, not a line. A way of being. Start now.